Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up an SBAC training session. You'll notice I have two windows set up on the screen. On the left I'm going to run the teacher training site, and on the right I'm going to set up the student interface training site. Both of my windows are Google Chrome, as it is the recommended web browser to run both of these on. On the left side I'm going to click on the teacher practice training site and let that load up. On the right I'm going to click the student training site. As the left side loads up, it should give me a warning about having pop-ups blocked. You'll have to turn off your pop-up blockers, any that you have, in order for this site to load. Chrome uses 2. And then refresh the page. So on the left side we have the teacher training site. You have your start session button in the top left corner. The student will look up for information if this were a live site. A print button in case you needed to print any reports. Here you'll have a session ID that populates after you start a test, and this will be your pending approvals for students to join your test. In this window here are all of the practice sessions that are available. Roll to the bottom. I'm going to do a math high school training session. Before I do anything else, I'm going to come over here and we're going to look at the students' website. In a live environment, the students would be given their ID, their confirmation code, and their state ID. Since we don't have that for the test environment, each student that opens up a training window on his or her own computer will be able to register as a guest user. Now, in order to simulate a live environment, what you can do is have them uncheck the box for guest session. This clears the text in the box and allows them to input the session ID. In order to generate a session ID, you'll select the training or the test you care to run and select Start Session. Once you've started a session, you have a session ID that you can post for your students to gain access to your test site. In the student window, we'll add that ID. And we'll have our students sign in. It'll ask the student to identify themselves. In this case, no confirmation code, and guest 0 is correct. And since we're running a math high school test, we'll set it as grade 11. Yes to submit. Here are the 6 training sessions available for grade 11 students. Only one is currently selected, or currently selectable. The selectable session has a green arrow next to it, and it is the math high school training test, the same one that we selected in the teacher portion over here. This lets you know that the students are getting into your training session. So you have the student select to join that session, and it informs the student that it is waiting for the teacher approval. So the student will sit there patiently while we come over here and refresh the page. During the live sessions, these approvals happen, these pages auto-refresh, and they will be much faster than this. So up here you've got your approvals button. Click on your approvals. You can see all of the individual students that have tried to sign into your test session. You can check their particular information if you feel that you need to, and set and approve, and that approval has started this student's test session. In the test session over here, this is a bunch of demographic information about the individual student. As long as the student, in a live session, this will all be filled out for the student, and they can say, yes, start my test. This will give the student an overview. They will get the same instructions during the live test. This gives them an overview on how to take the tests and what the buttons do. And we will begin the test. If you see over here, this refreshed to say the student is currently approved to question number 00 because he was looking through the settings. Over here you can start taking the test, place the question, place the answers. You can feel free to try and answer the questions correctly if you choose to. I will not, and just add some information here so that we can refresh again and populate our list. So here you can see the student is on question 3 of 8. Here you can manually pause the student's test. It's not recommended to do that, as they will have to re-log in and rerun the training session number. Generally speaking, you want to let the students pause the test themselves or finish the test out completely. So here we'll finish up the test, answer a few more questions. And as we continue answering, the teacher site will refresh. And I don't know what happened to the teacher site. Moderate technical hiccup, and here you see we have student on number 7 of 8, or has completed 7 of 8. Question number 8 will set an answer. Test. You've answered all questions. You may select End Test. If you've reached the end, click Yes to continue, or No to return to the test. At the end, they may review their answers or submit their test. Once the students have completed their review of their answers, you'll notice it's on Review 8 of 8. Once students have completed their test, they submit. Make sure you want to submit. Yes, I am. And then it informs the student that they have finished their test. The student can log out. And on the teacher training site, once the student has reached completed status, once all students have reached completed status, you may stop the test session. One thing to note before you stop a test session or before you start one, write down the training or the session ID number, whether it's the live test or training test, as in order to get back into a training or live session, you'll need this number, this ID, in order to log back in should anything happen and you need to log out. So once you've done that, once everybody's complete, you can stop the session. It'll inform you that you're ending all tests. You say OK, and it returns you to the start. And you may run as many training tests as you like with a variety of different grade levels. And you can run the student session. Each individual student can log in as long as they're on their own separate computers. And that is how you run an SBAC training session.